welcome back to the shed. I'd like to say thank you to everybody that's commented and gave me some advice about changing a few bits and making the videos better. It's much appreciated. Carry on. I'd like to say that I've made a lot of progress on the scooter, but as you can clearly see, if you can see it, I fucking haven't. I really haven't. I did manage to get the wiring loom sorted out. I'll show a picture of that. That's come on a treat. I've made it as basic as possible. If anybody wants a diagram drawing up or wants an email in, let me know. I can bang a diagram and give you some hints and tips on how easy these things are to wire. In the last video I did discuss briefly about rectifiers and regulators. On this particular scooter, the rectifier was 5 wire. The extra wire was a sensing wire. You throw that in line with the load of the lights and the battery and everything else. It drops the rectification down to about 12 volts to 14 volts as opposed to the 18 that it was banging out. A few people told me that it was for powering the lights and everything else, which was apparently bullshit. And obviously without that wire, it's going to throw out 18 and kill the battery. I'm really bored of doing wiring, so I'm going to do some fun stuff. Over the Christmas period, I managed to liberate, find, acquire a couple of road signs, which I'm going to be using for the bodywork, because I don't really want scootery bodywork. I wanted metal bodywork, and the idea is that it's going to be tough looking and cool. So, with no further ado, we'll crack on. There'll be some ankle grinding, some sparks, some fire, and if I don't leave the garage at least with one cut finger, something is badly, badly wrong. Ding! Power tools! So the first thing I'm going to chop off is going to be these little seat rails here. The seat height, I only wanted low seat. So this is the sort of ideal height really for the seat to be. It'll be low and a little backrest here, and the battery box and a little bollocks will be up there. So the first thing that's going to be to go is this rail. So I'm going to get to try out my new saw. Power tools! Power tools! Choppy choppy! Wank! Took the electric off. I can't see a fucking thing.
This is my favorite part, right here.
So I've chopped those off now, as you can see there. I'm probably going to leave those like they are. I may drop a plate across, but we'll find out. It's probably going to be no, I'm pretty lazy. So next I need to measure the front wheel and sort of figure out how high off the ground this thing actually needs to be, and also close the garage door so we can get it proper control. So what I've done now is remove these two rails here with that there lovely saw. I've propped the front end up on an axle stand, which gives me a sort of semi-approximate height that the frame sits at. And this is the height that I wanted the seat to be. I didn't want a sort of, I didn't really want a kind of, you know, tall, standing up bike. I wanted something low and kind of cool. So the next thing to do is sort out where I'm going to put my feet. So that kind of works, I think. Feet forward there. Nice and short and squat. Everything's easy to get to. Starter button down here somewhere. Switches can be there. Headlight, bob on the front there. So yeah, kind of pleased with that. A few more brackets are going to have to go, I think. Obviously this one at the top here, which is the old steering lock, that'll have to come off. These two there, that one and that one. This bracket here, which would have been the headlight, that's going to have to come off as well, because, well, I'm not going to mount the headlight on it basically. And yeah, so let's crack on again. Ding dang do. So, you might be wondering, if you can see it, I'm hoping you can, why I've ground this little piece of metal here now. Early in the video, one of the first things I said was it needed a steering lock, and I've checked the MOT law, and it is absolutely 100% fucking necessary to have a steering lock. The premise of it is that, for my friendly MOT man, was that the steering has to turn so far that when you apply the throttle, the scooter still goes forward as opposed to fucking spazzing out and dropping you on your arse and making you look like a wanker. So all I'm going to do is hopefully, and I am not a welder, let's make this plainly clear, I am a muppet who owns a welder. That and welding are not the same thing. But anyway, all I'm going to do is bang a little bit of plate on here, just to stop the steering. You can see originally where it would have been there. I'll take some pictures and then you'll be able to see better. So I'll need a bit of plate or a bit of thready bar or a piece of a cat or a picture of a shoe. Anything resembling a bit of metal. Right. So there's my little plate. I've banged it in. This is a magnetic thing. You buy them from, well, Aldi, believe it or not. They're absolutely fucking great. The idea is that when you turn the headstock now, the handlebars, it'll only get there and that'll stop. And it'll give me a decent turning circle, but it won't go all harry-carry and spin me off. So, last night's welding and starting to build the bodywork, which is supposed to be the fun bit, it ended up not being as fun as I would have hoped. I realised that a lot of the welding wire has gone damp and manky, so I had to spool off loads of that and try and clean the welder up inside. Once I'd done that, I also realised then that I cannot weld for shit. So here's a quick minute compilation of the fail of last night's debacle in the garage. See, that's basically what I've managed to achieve, which I'm kind of happy with because, well, I didn't know how to weld. I still don't. Yeah, that's it. I'll put a few pictures of the wiring loom up and I'll tag some short instructions on the end on what I've done and why I've done it that way. A few pictures of the dashboard and a quick explanation of that. And yeah, Shazam. Good evening.
Alright, who's there under a car, wearing a cowboy hat in a bar? Well, it's Melv. Manly, manly Melv. Alright. Manly, manly, manly Melvin, Melvin, Melvin. Melvin, manly, manly, manly Melvin, Melv. Well, it's Melv. Oh yeah, well, it's